my channel, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books, book-related things, blah, 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 and sometimes I reread books from my childhood. Today, we are rereading the Inkworld series in prep to read the fourth book. I have the other two up here. So, this video is going to be me reading the Inkcard series. Wow! There's like very few books from my childhood that I like directly relate to my love of reading. The first is definitely going to... Matilda is one. I think it was the first like really big book that I ever read. And then it's like in second grade or something. And then the Dragon Riders of Pern, but there's like a set of books that are like appropriate for younger readers. It's like the music hall or something. I'm looking for the book. I have it. I have it. I own it. But where did I put it? That is the question, isn't it? Because my dad gave me... He had a copy. The Harper Hall of Pern. There it is. It's on my favorites shelf. That makes sense. I really need to reorganize my bookshelves because they're truly insane. That, and then Inkheart. I read the first book on a whim and then recommended it to my parents, and they read them and enjoyed it. Then we read the sequel and it was exciting. And I remember when the third book, Ink Death, came out. I was like 12 or 13. I remember when it came out. I remember being really excited and like getting a hardback copy when it was released. And it was probably one of the only books in my childhood that I treated that way. Most of the books I was reading had been released for a while, and so it was really exciting to have a book that I was like waiting for the release of, and like it came out. Then recently, 2024, I think, The Color of Revenge, which is the fourth book, came out. But I believe it was in German. I don't know when it got an English translation, but it came out. So this is in preparation for me to be reading the fourth book. I will be getting a copy of the fourth book that looks like this. However, and unfortunately, this is the UK edition, the UK paperback edition. I don't even remember how I got the first three, but I was really excited because I thought they were beautiful. I remember when these like were printed. I think these covers are beautiful. And that's the other thing. This is nitpicky and not related to rereading these books. The Color of Revenge, the like standard copy, standard edition, does not match my original copies of the Inkworld Trilogy, which lives at my parents' house. I don't have those books here, but it doesn't match. And so I will be getting one of these. I will be ordering it from Waterstones and then having one of my UK friends mail it to me. Because I don't like mismatched. But it's, to be fair, it's been like a decade since these books originally came out, so that makes sense. But that's it. That's the plan for this video. I will update per usual when I do these things. I will be updating every quarter of the book, fully, give or take. I might update sporadically here and there anyway, but I'm going to be reading 25% of this book, and then you will get an update, and we are gonna go from there. This is not a read in 24 hours. I'm not timing anything. I'm just rereading it, and we'll go from there. Okay? Sorry, I look like a troll. It's 7 a.m. Okay, we'll talk later. I'll check back in a bit. I didn't update. I read and then I didn't update. And I like continue to read and I continue to not update. My bad. I finished Inkheart. So let's talk about my thoughts. I ended up reading it digitally. Because middle of the night reading, that's just kind of how those things work. And Art got me the fourth copy. Sam. That's exciting. I truly enjoyed this book. I enjoyed the reread of it. It is truly a very dark book. I think I read a lot of really dark books as a kid, which is interesting to look at now. But this book stands up. Like, it holds the test of time. I also understand why they made a movie of it. I really kind of want to go back and watch the movie. But truly, this is one of my favorite books, and it holds true. And if my child decides to be a reader, I think this is definitely going to be one that I recommend. I don't know what age group, because I was reading it in the 4th grade, aka the 5th grade, because I skipped a grade. So I'd have been like 11 or 12. And I think that's fine. I don't know. I was looking to see if there was a... Oh wow, I got this before I was even married. Because this is my maiden name. Stan. So, yeah. I don't know if this is, what age group this is for. I was hoping it would say on the back. But it doesn't. And that's okay. I think I'm gonna enjoy reading the next book. My plan is to try to finish Inkspell today. If my work is fine and my baby is fine, I will try to do better about updating as I read it, so that you get my live thoughts, so that I'm not just like, yeah, this book was great, it stood the test of time, and then you don't get any more updates. I'm gonna try. I didn't think about how difficult this content would be to film when I'm wearing my child and I haven't been actively talking and I suddenly start talking. He wakes up and goes, what are we doing? What's happening? I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm dating it. I'm alive. That was a TikTok sound. And if you don't know what that sound is, maybe editing me can put it on. Yeah, I want to watch the movie again. Maybe I will today. Maybe we'll watch Inkard today. I have guests coming over. Maybe I'm going to make everybody watch Inkard today. One of them's the little guy. And I don't know if the little guy watches TV, so we may leave the TV off. Kind of depends, right? That's a tricky thing. That is a vlog conversation, though. I'm not talking about it here. It's a vlog conversation. But I'm going to go. What are you doing? My husband's cat is on my footrest. He never does this. I don't know what's going on. Mr. Ryan? Easter. What are you doing? Also, I just realized I didn't make myself breakfast, so I gotta go do that. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, goodbye. Hello. This is the 50% update for Inkspell. So Inkheart basically is in our world, set all in our world, and there are people that are trying to get back to the Ink world, which is the Book of Inkheart. They're trying to get the book within the Book of Inkheart. They're trying to get back to that world. Most of them had been read out of it. Now they're trying to go back or bring stuff out of it that they miss or need or whatever. Cool. Do we understand that that's the plot of Inkheart? Inkspell, Dustfinger, our fire dancer, fire manipulator, fire guy. He wants to go back. He has adopted this boy, essentially, in our world called Farid, who's from another book, and he's a fire eater. Not because of... Was it because of Dustfinger? I think it was because of Dustfinger. Dustfinger finds another person who can read people in and out of books, and so Orpheus is his name, and Orpheus is fucking crazy. And he is like, hey bestie, put me back. And Orpheus is like, yeah. And Farid is like, yeah, me too. And Dustfinger's like, yeah, him too. And then abandons him. So then Farid goes and finds Maggie, our main character in book 1, and all of the books, who's Mo, the original guy who read all these people out of these books, his daughter. And is like, read me into this book. And Maggie's like, can I come? And Farid is like, I don't know how you would do that, but okay, Bessie. So she somehow figures out how to read herself into a book. Well, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? So Farid is in there, and Maggie's in there now, and Mo and his wife are like, hey bestie, what the fuck, and they're trying to get her back out, but they like don't have a copy of the book or something, and only Orpheus has a copy of the book or something, something like that. So this is going on. Dustfinger's back into the ink world. Time has passed. Time has passed. His children are grown, and they're like, you abandoned us, you stupid fuck. And he's like, okay, I tried to come back and I couldn't. And they're like, yeah, that's what you always say, you stupid fuck. Fuck you. Lots of conflict. Also, Maggie and Fareed. A little bit of romantic things happening there. Maggie is older now. She's like 13. I think if I remember, reading these books was cool because I was also aging around the same ages as Maggie in these books. And I think I liked that a lot. I'm very curious about The Color of Revenge. If Maggie, like how old she is. I actually haven't even read the summary of what The Color of Revenge is like about, so. But that is my update on what's going on. I am enjoying my reread. These books are so well written. I'm doing a mix of the physical book that I have. I will show you the Shawnee McGuire book that I am also reading. I'm doing a mix of this guy and also the audiobook. And if you didn't know, the movie stars Brendan Fraser as Mo, and Brendan Fraser reads, apparently, Inkspell. I don't know if the movie came out before that, but yeah, that's what's happening there, so that's cool, that's fun. I will either update you when I finish this, or I will update you at 75%, depending on which one I have time for. Okay, thanks, bye. He was just like, hurry up and eat. Roxanne followed him. You two are going after them. What are you talking about? Fear and rage mingled on her face as she came between him and the boy. You can't go to the castle. There's no more you can do, either for the girl or for the barn owl or for any of the... Hello. So, no, I did not update you like I thought I was going to. Shocking. I ended up finishing Inkspell. Inkspell was really interesting because we're in the ink world instead of in our world, and there's this like battle of wills between writers and readers, really, which I think is kind of unique and interesting, and I enjoyed it a lot. Dustfinger has died. Maggie and Mo are saved. Risa is saved. Fareed is devastated because Dustfinger died, and Orpheus, the bad guy, is in the ink world now and promised Fareed that he would read Dustfinger back to life, and has not. So that's a mix of like the end of Inkspell and the beginning of Ink Death, because I did start Ink Death yesterday. I think that conceptually these books still slap. Like, I think they are still incredible. I went to go watch the movie last night, and I couldn't find it, so I ended up watching The Borrowers instead. But yeah, the plan today is to get 50% into Ink Death, and I may end up doing an actual 50% update for you guys, instead of just updating tomorrow with however far I got into it. We will see. Also, in the previous clip where I was reading out loud, sometimes that's the only way my son will go down, and so he's also been reading Inkworld. So that's what we've got going on. I think that that's gonna be it, though. I think that's gonna be it for this update, so I will update again in a bit. Oh, something I was going to say too, Maggie, as she's aging, is kind of interesting, because her dynamic and relationship with Mo has changed, just the way that it should with your guys are sliding, just the way that it like should. That's just the way that teenagedom works, and I really like the dynamic shift, because like even if you have the most loving and wonderful relationship with your parents, being 14, 15 is tough. So that's kind of been an interesting shift. And then also like her relationship with Farid, who is kind of like choosing to work for Orpheus and focus on that more than focus on Maggie. And Maggie's like, bitch, the fuck. I think all of that is very well done. I know I frequently in some of my book updates will be like, the teenagers be teenagering, and it's frustrating. In this particular instance, you literally see Maggie go from this like pretty innocent character in the first book to this like frustrated teenager in the third book, and I think that that's really unique and interesting. So I'm excited about how that growth works, and I think that Cornelia Funke did a really incredible job. I also just think Cornelia Funke is an incredible author, so there's that too. Anything else I can get some of that going, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. This is literally my third update today about something. I just close out a vlog, open a vlog, now I'm doing this. Hello. I did get 50% into, nope, that's not it. Did get 50% into Ink Death. Now, Orpheus is a dick and I hate him. He's a dick and I hate him. That's, yep. And then that's kind of it. No, Maggie is in this interesting part of her life, and I remember this part of my life. I was a little older. I remember this part of my life, where my dad was my hero, but I was learning about my dad. And in learning about my dad, he was not as heroic as I remembered. My dad was a wonderful human being, to be clear. It was just like, oh, I am learning that you did not actually hang the stars in the sky. That's crazy. Which sounds dumb, but very common. She's learning that her dad doesn't tell her everything, that he's becoming a person she doesn't know or recognize, and that's really hard for her. And I think that Cornelia Funke just does a really wonderful and beautiful job of writing that experience, because I think most girls who think their dad hung the stars in the sky go through that experience, even if their dad does not suddenly become a robber in their favorite book. I think that it's a lovely read, a lovely reread. I am enjoying it immensely. Deathfinger? No. Dustfinger has been brought back from the dead. Farid is ecstatic. Farid has just been rescued from Orpheus's dungeons, basically. Fuck Orpheus, we hate Orpheus. All my homies hate Orpheus. Maggie is trying to read her family back into the real world, but Mo, her dad, really just wanted to read her mom and her back into the real world, and he was not going to come with them, which pissed her off when she found that out. Reasonable. Very reasonable. And what else? I think that's like the gist of it. That's everything that's going on. So I'm going to be getting 75% into it. So yeah, I will. How do you guys want to do that? Okay. Okay, thanks, bye. Hi, we're 75% into Death Note. Yeah. Ink Death. Good, it's good. Yes. Why does Dustfinger have secret death powers? He came back from the dead. Farid, who also came back from the dead, can also do secret death power things, but not the same intensity as Dustfinger. So, Firefighter and Aladdin are out here doing crazy shit. The ugly queen, or whatever her name is, her ugliness, I think is what they call her. She has a scar on her face or something. Is like in love with Blue Jay, who is the robber personality of Mo, who is the dad of Maggie, who he's also the husband of Maggie's mother, who's pregnant. So like, not on the table, Betsy, but she's like a ruler and evil. So, but like, is she evil, or is she just like raised by evil people? And the results of her upbringing, you know? I think it's more the latter, unfortunately. It's good though. Lots of questions. I like, and I talked about this before, but I like that the books are aging with its readers. The content is getting more intense. We've got a little bit more political intrigue happening. Not a little, a lot more political intrigue happening. We've got different factions and different systems that are happening and things. Conversations about, in this world, women don't have the same power as men, is what it is. Maggie said, no, fuck that. I'm from the other world where we do, so fuck you and fuck that. Okay. Maggie, not as huge of a character as she was in the first book, I feel like. She's there, right? Obviously, we're still hanging out with Maggie, but she is just one of many, many characters. So I will say, Inkdeath has a lot of characters. It has a lot going on. There's Maggie's whole little family. There's Dustfinger's family. Dustfinger had a wife, or baby mama, has children. There's that. There's Reese's family, which is Maggie's family but extended. Then there are like the Black Prince of the Thieves, and then like her ugliness, and then like the evil king guy from the second book. And they talk about Capricorn and Capricorn's mother, who were the evil people from the first book. And there's just like a lot of people to keep up with. So I will say, that's hard. That's hard. It's fine because I'm reading it like slowly and I'm digesting it well. And also this is like the third time I've read these books. But it's also like, why are there so many people? And so many things to remember and to keep up with. And then there was like the crying prince and the happy prince and the sad prince and the black prince, and they're all different people. You know? It's difficult. But I am enjoying it. It's solid. I'm enjoying it a lot. Okay, I'll talk to you guys when I finish Inkdeath, and then the plan today is to finish Inkdeath, and then I might start The Color of Revenge. I don't know yet, but I might. I have other things I need to read first though, so. Hello. It's the 8th, it's Monday. I started, let's rewind. I finished Inkdeath. I finished Inkdeath. It was really good. I do find it interesting that everyone, Eleanor, Mo, Maggie, Risa, the baby, Risa's been pregnant this whole time. Did I talk about that? I don't know. All decide to they end up staying in the Ink World. So does Orpheus and Finelio, the author of Inkheart. They all end up staying in the Ink World, and I do find that kind of interesting. That I think that was a choice. They defeat the Adderhead, who's this really terrible king. His daughter, Volante, her ugliness, is now the queen, but she works with the Black Prince, who is the Prince of Thieves, essentially, but really it's more like poor people. And she's kind of taken over the kingdom, saved the castle of Umbra. It ended really well. I really enjoyed it. I do see why Cornelia Funke would write another book in this world, though. It is so well developed and well thought out. The rules around the magic are pretty well organized. I do totally understand why she would do that. Now, with that being said, I am now also 25% into The Color of Revenge. The Color of Revenge is following Orpheus as he seeks revenge on Dustfinger, specifically. Dustfinger is our little firefighter, tire dancer guy. And he's mad because he brought Dustfinger into the book, and Dustfinger hates him. Not for bringing him into the book, that's what Dustfinger wanted, but he hates him for everything else that he did. And he's like, Dustfinger is an ungrateful little bitch. Orpheus is actually psychotic. And he is having this witch, question mark? Not totally sure. Made these weird wooden figurines with the faces of all of the people that Dustfinger loves, and then had this person paint in a book that Orpheus wrote the people that he loves. So Mo, Maggie, Fareed, Risa, Dante, the son, his wife, whose name I can't think of right now, Brianna? No, that's his daughter, Brianna. I think his wife's name starts with an R too, but I don't remember what her name is right now. All of them, okay? And as the paintings got finalized, they like turned gray and turned to dust, and then they vanished, and now Dustfinger is alone. And Volante discovered this and is gonna go tell him. That's where I left off. And the painter guy got stabbed. He's dead now. At the same time, Maggie and her new boyfriend, not Fareed, are going to, they like offhand mention something that I think is related to the Mirror World. That is another book series by Cornelia Funke. I have not read that series. So if we make a lot of references to that world, I'm gonna struggle because I don't know that book series. I have read one of those books. And that is all. I have not read any others, so I don't really know. I'm hoping that we don't make a ton of references to it because I would really struggle. But we will see. So that's where I'm at. The plan today is to get 50% into it, and I will give you guys an update at that point. I think Art has shipped my copy of those covers. I think Art has shipped my copy, but I don't think it'll get here before I finish this video. The plan is to finish this video before the end of the week because I have to upload it by next Tuesday. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to read that series, you know? Not that I don't have enough to do, but maybe I'll read it. What is it called? Like, what are I want to say the first book is Fearless, and I just simply don't think so. Oh, also side note, side note, this book is considerably shorter than the other ones, which I'm not mad about, but it is considerably shorter. Reckless is the other. How many books are in Reckless? 4? With a 5th one coming out? No fucking way. No, people marked this as one to read in 2016. I don't believe a 5th book is coming out. Okay. You know what? We'll just add them to my want to read, and if there's short stories involved too. I don't think I'm gonna read all of that, but if I get time, I'll read it, maybe. I also need to finish the Dragon Rider series. How many books are in here? 4. Well, one's a mini book, so I'm not gonna read those, but I need to finish that series too, so. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I already have enough to edit and do and whatever, so I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, thanks, bye. Hi, I'm exhausted, so this is gonna be a really quick update. I got 50% into The Color of Revenge. Orpheus is a piece of shit. Dustfinger is on his way to, is it Dustfinger? It's, Dustfinger's stepson, on his way to, I will kill you and you will be dead. He talked to the wood women, the women that live in the woods that do witchcraft. He talked to them, and they said, there's some people that do gray magic, and gray magic is like, oh, the sadness in the world. And that's what this looks like. And they're like, can we find this person? They're like, no, good luck, bye, useless. And is that from the Mirror World? I don't know. I've never read those books. So that's the gist of it. That's the vibe. I don't know. It's kind of giving like it's interesting, but it's very short compared to the other books. And it is interesting, but it's also just like, okay, what's the point of this book? you know, like I get it, Orpheus is psycho and wanted to seek revenge on Dustfinger for reasons that are dumb. But I still don't get, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But that's it, that's gonna be the update. I need to go, I need to also, what do I need to do? You're sliding. I need to edit, that's what I need to do. So, the plan today is to get 75% into the Color of Revenge, or finish it. But that's the plan today. So, yeah. Hopefully I get some sleep tonight. Okay, thanks, bye. Hello. I had intended to like actually do my makeup and stuff so that when I talked about this, I would look like a person. Unfortunately, my son was up every hour and a half last night, so I am very tired. Starting at midnight and then just going until 4. You're sliding. This is a fun trip, isn't it? So with that, I'm very sleep deprived, but I will be finishing this video here. I finished The Color of Revenge yesterday. Okay, so it was cool in concept, for sure. Orpheus is a dickhead. But we got some of his backstory and we understand a little bit of where he's coming from. I know that that's like a whole thing these days where we make villains have like an understandable backstory so that we can all go, oh, well, some people are bad because... But I liked when bad people were just bad people. I don't know if that makes sense. But when I was a kid, back in my day, bad people were just bad people. You know? It wasn't like a whole... Their mommy was mean to them, their daddy beat them. Like, it wasn't... It was just bad people were bad people. And I liked that. Some people just suck. I do think the references to the mirror world or whatever were interesting, but I didn't read those books, so I didn't get it. I didn't get it. It also brought in a new flavor of magic, and I still don't know how I feel about that either. Because I feel like the whole point was the magic that was the reading of the books and the writing of books, and so like we've brought in this new form of magic, and I don't think I like that very much. I think it moves away from the original trilogy too much. The characters still felt like the characters, and I didn't hate... Some people don't like this book because it moves away so heavily from our main characters from the original trilogy. I don't mind that so much. I like the side characters in the Inkworld, so I really didn't mind following them a little bit more. I found that really interesting, honestly. But it was just a 3-star read, and I'm bummed about that. So, let's see. I'm gonna put this back up on my wall. I'm not gonna do that until I get the 4th one. So, that is it. I have officially finished my reread and read of the Inkworld Trilogy. Incredible. I still love these books dearly. I kind of want to look at the Color of Revenge cover, the edition of these, because like these have small details. So like this one, this is Maggie reading the book, and then we've got Dustfinger here, and then Fareed, and then here we've got quote unquote the Blue Jay, which is Mo, and we've got Maggie again in the corner. And then further we have the deaf women, the white women, and then we've got Maggie and Risa and Mo all here. And I think that's really interesting. I think these covers are fantastic though, so yeah. There's so many little details on these covers that I'm curious about what the 4th one is going to look like and what it's going to include. Like this is Gwen too, and then we've got the Adderhead reference here, and then we've got a death moth, whatever those are called, I don't know. think it's interesting. But that's the video. That's it. I do have a reread series planned for, I think it's going to come out next month. It might come out in a couple months after that. I don't remember. I'm going to read them next month, but I don't remember when that video is going to come out. So I do have that planned. In my childhood reread videos, they don't do very well, but I enjoy doing them, and so I'm going to keep doing them because they bring me joy, and I get to do that. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Leave a comment down below if you've read the Inkworld series, or if this video made you want to read the Inkworld series. I know this was not as good as my previous reread videos. My life is a little different now, but I'm figuring it out. Yeah, I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time every single week, except for the first full week of the month. So I will see you guys later on this week. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Like, read a book out loud and see if characters come out of them. Okay, thanks, bye.